Everybody, welcome back. So today we're going to be taking a look at one of Pioneer Arms' 16-inch sporters, just to kind of show you general fit and finish. Now, yes, if you guys have seen my videos, you know that here recently there's been a lot of issues in terms of, well, whether or not the US-based Pioneer Arms is going to remain. If you guys check out the card in the top right, you'll see that there was basically a lot of information going around on Facebook from former employees kind of stating that essentially everyone was fired. Now that is unfortunate, seeing as how in recent past Pioneer Arms has started manufacturing AKs with the forged trunnions. I think fit and finish wise, their firearms are actually really nice. I'm sure there are those of you out there that'll disagree, and that's perfectly fine. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. However, for something at such a small or such a low price point, I really don't know that you could do much better, because I mean, they have a really nice finish. I mean, they really do. In terms of quality, in terms of the rivet jobs, everything else. It's really not a terrible firearm. However, today we're going to take a look at this one. Now, this is the one that I got from the same friend that also has that ZPAP 85 and the ZPAP 92. He had got this years ago, so simply because he liked it. It looked really nice to him. It was an underfolder. He really likes underfolders, as you can see as it falls over. He did do a few things to this. Of course, he added this rubber piece over the charging handle. He added this different grip to it because this is not what it was shipped with. It was shipped with the salmon colored grip. If you go back and reference my Pioneer Arms 20-inch Sportal, you'll see that. But finish wise, these are actually really, really nice AKs. Now, two other things that he added. He added this UTG peep sight, just simply because it's easier for him to see a sight picture with it. He also added a paracord wrap over here to the left side of his underfolder. You know, and they're nice guns. I mean, I'll unfold this. I'll kind of show you, you know, generally what the finish looks like. And they're really not, I mean, the finish, now by the way, this is super tight. There's no wobble, there's no rattle. So I mean, the underfolder, the funny thing is the underfolder on this one is much tighter than my M70 AB2 one. I still got some work to do on that. I think it's actually missing the pins for the button back there, but I got to get those pins on order. But just taking a quick look at it, I've got to be careful so I don't knock over my entire lighting setup here. But the finish is super nice on these. I've got no complaints from a finish perspective. I mean, you just can't ask for a nicer finish. The rivets, some of the rivets are a little smashed, but I mean, they still look really good. Now, I will show you, I am going to fold this back up, and I'm just going to show you a few things to be mindful of. He didn't know this when he bought this. I said, hey man, you know, because the first thing I did when I got it is I pulled off the dust cover, took a look at the inside, and I said, hey buddy, are you aware that you have a cast trunnion Pioneer Arms? He's like, do what? So I went through the process of explaining to him differences between forged and cast, while giving a little bit of a history lesson with that. And many of your American AK manufacturers actually do a cast carrier. I don't know how well you can see that line here. It is indeed cast. Their bolts are typically machined. If you still go out to Pioneer Arms' website, you go through to their Facebook page, you'll see how they machine these bolts and what they look like when they start. But you know, machining wise, they're pretty nice. I mean, I gotta admit, I mean, he shot this a few times. You see a little bit of the indentions. I'll try to show a picture of this on the back of the carrier here. But I told him, I said, dude, it's like, you've got a cast trunnion. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, well, let me show you. So I proceeded to take some pictures. I don't know how well you can see this. I'm going to grab my light here. Of the inside here. I said, you see that? I said, there's no rivet in your bullet guide. I said, that's a clear indication this is all one-pieced, or a one-piece cast trunnion. I said, you know, that's not the way that Kalashnikov originally designed these. They were designed to be forged. Likewise, just to show you a comparison, of course I will insert pictures so you guys can see this, just because I think you need to see it. These are things you need to be mindful of. There's plenty of other guys out there on YouTube that have actually gone over this in depth, talked about it, showed the differences. But by comparison, when you look at my M70 AB2, we'll see how well I can do this on camera. Probably not very well. But you can see that you can't see the rivet as well on this one. You might be able to see it. It might show up on camera. You can barely see it here. But then if you rotate it and you look to the side of that bullet guide, you can see that it is indeed a separate piece. Now that's your surefire indication that you've got a forged trunnion. Of course, this is my M70 AB2. You guys saw the unboxing of it. I still need to get it out and do the first shots on it. Of course, I did headspace check it. Headspace checked okay, so I really don't have any concerns about the functionality of this weapon. It is very dirty, still very dirty. I just tried to give it enough of a cleanup in order to get it to the point where I could headspace check it as well as do a test fire on it. So hopefully in the coming days I get, you know, all my ducks in a row and actually get a little bit of range time, a little bit of free time to do some range time. I'll show you guys basically, or we'll all find out basically how this is going to perform. And I think it'll perform just fine. I mean, I'm not concerned about it whatsoever. But anyway, back to this Pioneer Arms sporter here. So I told him, I said, hey man, that is indeed a cast trunnion. I said, now honestly, I said, depending on how much you shoot this, truth be told, it would probably be okay for a few thousand rounds. Now that's just based off my research. Don't take this as legal advice. That's just based off my research, what I've been able to find out there on the internet. You know, some people have these, they've ran them for years, they've not had any issues. Others have started to notice headspace creep or just any other types of issues that are prevalent with a cast trunnion. So for your typical user, these might actually be just fine. But you know, for the person that's going to shoot a few thousand rounds a year, maybe not. I mean, if this is just going to sit your gun safe, you might shoot, you know, mag through it every once in a while, then it's probably fine. Now, once again, don't take that as the gospel, but you know, I'm just stating, going off what I've read on the internet and forums and postings about what people are saying about these weapons. But it's unfortunate they made it with a cast trunnion, because it is, I mean, it really is a beautiful, well-finished rifle. I mean, is it a high-end AK? No, of course not. It's not, guys. It's a Pioneer Arms. If you want a high-end AK, go buy an Arsenal or something else. I mean, but stuff like this, you know, you don't have to worry about if you get it scratched up a little bit or whatever, you know. It's not like, you know, I don't know, it's not, it's, I don't really know the best way to describe it. You know, you wouldn't want to take your most beautiful, best AK and go slinging it through the mud, you know, like Rob does over at AK Operators Union. But, you know, you'd want to take, you know, mid-tier, you know, whatever. At least I would. I wouldn't take the prettiest. I mean, I've got really nice SKSs. By the way, video up here on that Tula, I'm not going to take that thing out and shoot it. That's going to be in my safe, or it's going to be displayed, because it's a really, really cool piece of history. Even though it's not, you know, 100% original, it's still really nice. Oh, one thing I didn't point out is this one also has extended magazine release. So what you see here on this, other than the peep sight that's been added, the paracord that's been added, and this extended mag release, and the grip that's been added, that's basically how even the new forged ones are going to come. or the forged ones that are left out there on the market right now. You can still find those at a number of retailers. I mean, if you guys go out and do your research, you're smart, go search on Google, you can find them. But one thing I will point out is when you look at that trunnion and you see the serial number, you need to be looking for an F at the end of it. That will indicate that it is indeed forged. You can ask whoever's selling it. You can take the top cover off, pull the bolt carrier out, and you can look at it yourself as well. And you'll know based off the pictures I just showed you. I mean, you'll know what you're looking at. It's pretty easy to distinguish. It's pretty easy to see it right off of that once it's been pointed out to you. You know, when I first started getting into these, and I still don't know a lot about them, but that's one of the things I learned right off the bat was that the difference between forged and cast, and pros and cons of each, of course. So those are always fun to get back on. Just wanted to show this to you guys today, kind of give you some things to think about if you're in the market for one of these. Of course, I imagine unless something happens soon with the owner and the US location, you may not see them anymore. I don't know, but these are still floating around out there, at least 3 or 4 retailers from what I've seen. You can still get them, and the nice thing, instead of these, what you're seeing out there now are the forged versions. So they have a forged trunnion, just like, wow, just nailed the table. So they have a forged trunnion just like my M70AB2. Now granted, it's not a bulged trunnion, but it's a forged trunnion. You know, the original design intent of the AK. So just wanted to share this with you guys today, kind of give you some things to think about. You know, I'll be honest with you, back in the day, I thought I was going to be super smart, and I bought 3 AK parts kits from, I really am kind of ashamed. I bought 3 AK parts kits from Centerfire Systems back in the day, and those were actually IO Inc. parts kits. And I had them for a number of years. I never put them together. And then one day I saw a video where somebody was talking about it. Hadn't given them any thought. I was like, well, I'm just going to shove these back in the closet. You know, one of these days I'll put these together and have some fun. And then I discovered someone's video talking about forged and cast trunnions. And that pretty much made me want to cry. Since then, I actually had gotten rid of those. You know, I sold the parts kits for what they were. I still have actually one of the barreled trunnions, I guess you could say. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pause the video right here. I'm going to go grab it and show you what I'm talking about. Alright guys, I went and grabbed that barreled trunnion, I guess you could call it. So this is what it is, and I'm guessing these are some of the ones that were torn down when or torn apart when IO Inc. sort of went kind of defunct on their AKs. But if you look closely, I'll try my best to show this. You'll notice inside of here, and I'll probably have to insert pictures because this isn't doing it justice. This is all one piece. It's one piece cast, the entire thing. Now, like I said, this might be fine for, you know, it might be fine for your non-everyday user. Somebody just gets it out every once in a while and just runs a mag or 2 through it. But if you're going to shoot a few thousand, more than, you know, I don't know, 3,000 to 5,000 rounds in the lifetime of the weapon, you might want to consider a forged option. So I've made it a point that that's all I deal with anymore is forged trunnions, just because that was the original design intent. That's the way it should be. But, you know, other than that, just wanted to show you guys some of the fit and finish of my buddy's Pioneer non-forged underfolder. It's really a shame because it's a pretty gun. I mean, I say, gosh, I don't want to use pretty, but it looks nice. It's very pleasing to the eye. Of course, it's got a melanite finish. And it's just unfortunate that it doesn't have a forged trunnion. But, you know, back in the day, PSA did the same thing. Riley Defense did the same thing. Pioneer did the same thing. If you want to go really far back, IO Inc. did the same thing, which actually, yes, I know Pioneer has its roots there. But anyway, they all learned their lesson, and they all changed. And everyone went to forged, as they should have. But just wanted to give you something to think about. If you're trying to snatch one of these up before they're all gone, I don't know if they're all going to be gone. I don't know if they're going to open back up the U.S. base of operations and sell these still. I don't know. I don't know any of those details. I just know what I've read from some of the former employees over on Facebook. So anyway, just to give you some things to think about. As always, guys, I want to thank you for all your likes, your shares, your comments. Thank you to my subscribers, because you guys are helping to continue to grow this channel at a time when much of this sort of content is suppressed. So as always, if you guys like stuff like this, make sure you hit that like button and comment. Hit the bell notification so that you'll be made aware of every time I put stuff out like this. Plenty more content on the way. I know I've not done any range time. I'm desperately wanting to. All the chips have to fall into place. I've got to have the time. My buddy has to have the availability. So it's a lot of stuff in works. But hopefully we'll get out to the range one day. You guys will get to see my Zostovas, a whole bunch of other stuff. Got plenty of things planned. But as always, thanks everybody for watching. And until next time, you guys have a great day.